I think it's the mystery of mysteries, the king of mysteries.
Fabulous treasure. Seemingly within reach if anyone can figure out how to get it.
Oak Island's mysteries just got even deeper with a jaw-dropping discovery on Lot 24. Known for its countless twists and treasure-hunting drama, this latest find could be the breakthrough everyone's been waiting for. So what exactly was uncovered on Lot 24? Could it finally connect the dots to the legendary treasure? A farmer or a keeper of gold? Nestled off the southern coast of Nova Scotia lies Oak Island, a mysterious patch of land that has fueled treasure-hunting dreams for centuries. It's the kind of place where you feel like secrets have been buried deep, both literally and figuratively. Among its hidden corners is a quiet 4-acre property known as Lot 25. Today, it's just a crumbling foundation surrounded by trees. But back in the day, it was home to a man whose life might hold the key to Oak Island's most legendary mystery. Meet Samuel Ball. His story is as intriguing as the treasure hunters who've searched the island for clues. In 2020, the latest crew of searchers, led by brothers Marty and Rick Lagina alongside archaeologist Laird Niven, decided to dig into this 18th century homestead to learn more about the man behind it all. Now, Samuel Ball's name pops up in Oak Island's history like a question mark. How did a man, born into unimaginable hardship, end up as one of the wealthiest landowners here? And did he have a hand in hiding, or maybe even recovering, a legendary treasure? Let's rewind. Samuel Ball was born in 1761 on a rice plantation near Charleston, South Carolina. This wasn't just any plantation, it was notorious for its brutal conditions. Cultivating rice was grueling. It demanded swampy fields, back-breaking labor, and constant exposure to disease. Malaria, dysentery, cholera, you name it, it was there. Add to that the daily threat of violence, and life was a relentless cycle of survival. For the first 18 years of his life, Samuel faced the kind of challenges most of us can't begin to imagine. But then in 1776, history took a sharp turn. The American Revolution was in full swing, and the British Army, desperate to undermine the rebels, made an unexpected move. In 1779, General Sir Henry Clinton issued a proclamation promising freedom to enslaved individuals who escaped rebel owners and joined the British. It wasn't full emancipation, but it was a lifeline. Samuel Ball was one of 50 enslaved people who seized this chance, leaving the Ball plantation behind to cross into British lines. After serving in South Carolina with the British Army, Samuel Ball found himself heading north to New York, where things got, let's say, interesting. He joined the Loyal Refugee Volunteers, a unit with a reputation for daring raids and bold moves. This wasn't your typical military group. They were out there raiding rebel homes, acquiring goods, and doing what wartime demanded. Sure, in peacetime, this would have been flat out illegal, but during war, it was survival tactics. Through all this, Samuel was learning. Whether it was from the missions or the men he worked alongside, he picked up skills that would later help him navigate the tricky world of money and business. Let's be real, some of these lessons might not have come with a how to stay legal manual, but they were effective. Despite early British victories, the war took a sharp turn in 1781. The American forces pulled off a game-changing win. That defeat pushed Samuel Ball, along with countless others loyal to Britain, to make a life-changing decision. He fled to British-occupied Canada, where the Crown had promised freedom, goods, and land to enslaved black individuals in exchange for their loyalty. The result? A wave of migration. Nearly 5,000 black loyalists arrived in Nova Scotia, forming 52 historic black communities. While many settled in Shelburne or nearby Birchtown, Samuel had other plans. By 1787, he'd purchased a 4-acre lot on Oak Island, Lot 25, for £8. That's thousands of dollars in today's terms. It wasn't a fortune, but for the time it was a decent sum, especially for someone starting fresh. But why Oak Island? It's not exactly prime real estate, remote, isolated, and surrounded by trees. Some think his decision might have had something to do with his neighbor, Captain James Anderson, who owned the adjoining Lot 26. Could there have been a deeper connection or shared interest between the two? Speaking of Captain James, his life had twists just like Samuel. Born in Maryland, Anderson grew up to become a pirate and privateer. During the American Revolution, he initially pledged his loyalty to the United States, but then pulled the ultimate plot twist. After receiving command of an American ship, he defected to the British. This didn't sit well with then Virginia Governor and future President Thomas Jefferson, who slapped Anderson with charges of high treason and piracy. With the heat on him, Anderson fled to Canada and eventually landed on Oak Island buying Lot 26. He lived there until 1788, just a stone's throw from Samuel Ball's Lot 25. Now, did Anderson and Samuel know about something hidden on Oak Island before they even arrived? What we do know is that after Anderson left, Samuel Ball bought his lot. By then, Samuel was well on his way to building an impressive property portfolio. Starting as a cabbage farmer, Samuel turned his 4 acres into something far bigger. By 1790, he even purchased nearby Hook Island for £6, a hefty sum for the time, but let's be real, could cabbage farming alone bankroll this kind of real estate spree? Some historians suggest otherwise. The British government's policy of awarding contracts to freed black settlers to supply goods to the military may have played a role. Honestly, it makes sense. Like for the British Navy, cabbage was a lifesaver, literally. They used cabbage to produce sauerkraut, a vital source of vitamin C that helped sailors fight off scurvy on long voyages. At the height of demand, Samuel likely cashed in on lucrative contracts with the Navy, supplying the sauerkraut that kept ships sailing. But like all booms, this one had its bust. The Navy eventually shifted to using limes for vitamin C, easier to store and transport, which left the cabbage market high and dry. Even so, Samuel's wealth didn't just hold steady, it kept growing. Then came 1795. This year marked a turning point, not just for Samuel Ball, but for Oak Island itself. That's when 3 young men stumbled upon what would become the island's most enduring mystery, the so-called Money Pit on Lot 18. It started innocently enough. The men noticed a strange depression in the ground and above it an old ship's tackle block hanging from a tree. Curiosity got the better of them and they began digging. What they uncovered was mind-blowing. 30 feet down, they hit a wooden platform made of oak beams, and it didn't stop there. Every 10 feet below that, the pattern repeated. This wasn't random. It was deliberate. A man-made construction with purpose. Over the next 2 centuries, treasure hunters dug deeper, reaching depths of over 150 feet in search of whatever lay beneath. But in 1795, the original dig only went 30 feet. After the Money Pit's discovery, Samuel Ball didn't just sit back and grow cabbages, he started snapping up land, lots of it. By the time he was done, Samuel owned not just Lot 25, but also Lots 8, 24, 31, 32, 36, and 7 on Oak Island. Oh, and let's not forget about the 100 additional acres he picked up on the mainland. That's a serious real estate portfolio. But if the cabbage boom had fizzled out, where was he getting the money? What connection did Samuel have to the Money Pit's discovery? This wasn't normal behavior for a simple farmer. Did he find something valuable in those early digs? Some part of the treasure? The secrets of Lot 24. In 2016, metal detection expert Gary Drayton and Oak Island historian Charles Barkhouse decided to dig into Lot 24 in search of clues that might unlock the Oak Island treasure mystery. What they found was truly unexpected. They found coins. As they scanned the property, pieces of history began to surface, hinting at something much bigger. Evidence suggested that British military encampments were established on the island during the 18th century, years before Samuel Ball's arrival. The discovery aligns with a long-standing theory by treasure hunter Fred Nolan, who believed Oak Island wasn't just about the Money Pit, it was part of a British military operation. Fred Nolan's theories gained traction after he purchased 7 lots on Oak Island in 1963. A professional land surveyor, Nolan became fascinated with man-made stone markers scattered across the island. According to Nolan, these markers suggested not only the creation of the Money Pit, but also the burial of smaller treasure caches all over Oak Island. Where would such treasure have come from? Nolan had an idea, and it involved one of the largest treasure hauls in history. Let's rewind to the 7 Years' War, a global conflict fought between 1756 and 1763. Mind you, it wasn't any European squabble, it spread across continents from West Africa to India and the Caribbean. By 1761, Spain's King Charles III had allied with France, prompting Britain to declare war on Spain. What followed was the British capture of Havana in 1762, one of the war's most infamous battles. Havana was more than just a strategic city. It was a treasure trove. Huge amounts of gold and silver were stored there, and when the British seized the colony, they took an enormous haul. Historical records estimate this treasure to be worth anywhere between $2 to $10 billion in today's money. Yet there's a mystery. While some of the treasure, around $800 million worth, was accounted for in Britain, billions remain unaccounted for. So where did it go? After the British sacked Havana, they set sail for Halifax, traveling up the North American coast. Could they have offloaded part of their loot on Oak Island before continuing their journey to Britain? Nolan's theory suggests they did, and Samuel Ball's property might have been a key hiding spot. This theory, that multiple treasure caches were hidden across the island, has fueled the efforts of countless treasure hunters, including the current team led by brothers Rick and Marty Legina. And some of the most intriguing clues have surfaced on land once owned by Samuel Ball, like Lot 6. In 2015, Terry DeVoe, vice president of the New England Antiquities Association, joined the team to examine Lot 6. While clearing brush and running metal detectors, treasure hunter Jack Begley stumbled across something unusual. "I saw this point sticking out," Jack explained. "This type of greywacke, common in Nova Scotia, tends to naturally fracture, but this one's different. There's an added piece here, almost like it was cast to make a point. It doesn't look natural." Even more curious, the rock's flat surface suggested it might have been used as a cover or back wall for something, possibly something that had been hidden and later retrieved. Could treasure have been buried on Lot 6? Perhaps even more tantalizing is the possibility that Samuel Ball might have known about British efforts to hide valuables on Oak Island, stories he could have heard during his time with the British military. Samuel Ball's coded legacy. In 2019, when Rick and Marty Legina decided to dig even deeper, using ground-penetrating radar, they scanned Lot 25, the site of Samuel Ball's original homestead. What they found was extraordinary, an anomalous void or possible tunnel near the foundation of Samuel's home. The discovery prompted archaeologist Laird Niven to secure a permit for further investigation. He believes Samuel's choice of Lot 25 could have been intentional, tied to knowledge he gained during his time in the British military. As excavation began, the team took extra care. The deeper they dig, the more questions arise. Was Samuel Ball's wealth simply the result of shrewd business, or was he guarding a much larger secret? The very fact that Samuel Ball had a constructed house during the 18th century is remarkable. Homes like his were rare, especially for someone of his background. No wonder analysts think there are so many missing pieces to how Samuel managed to achieve all this. As they dug beneath the foundation, things took a wild turn. Soon enough, they'd hit the anomaly spotted in the ground-penetrating radar scan, a hidden tunnel beneath Samuel's home. For the team, this was an insane moment. But what was this tunnel's purpose? During the excavation, the team uncovered a stone box drain running from the southeast corner of the cellar about 4 feet deep, leading to a low area. And the big question, why was it there? As they carefully explored the tunnel, they were struck by how solidly it had been built. But when they inserted a small camera into the void, it appeared to be empty. Empty, but suspiciously deliberate. Meanwhile, further investigations revealed that Samuel Ball's property wasn't just a home, it was an operation. James Day found evidence of multiple outbuildings scattered across the land. Even more curious, the amount of cleared land. Samuel's property spanned 7 acres, far more than he would have needed to sustain his small family. It points to a sideline business, one researcher suggested. Then came another curious find in 2020, 5 years into the investigation. While sifting through spoils removed from the homestead, the team uncovered a fabric artifact. The artifact had irregular edges, and upon closer inspection, it turned out to be part of a British Navy jacket. The estimated time period? 1804 to 1825. So what does this all mean? Samuel Ball's homestead wasn't just a place to live. The hidden tunnels, the outbuildings, and the extensive cleared land suggest something much bigger was going on. Every discovery brings us closer to understanding Samuel Ball's mysterious life, but also raises new questions about what secrets might still be buried on his land. Among the many discoveries tied to Samuel Ball's enigmatic life, one artifact stands out: a gold-gilded Master and Commander Officer's button from the British Royal Navy. Using a computed tomography scanner, archaeologist Laird Niven identified this remarkable find. What makes this button so significant? It's not something just anyone would have. A Master and Commander Officer was responsible for loading Royal Navy ships, an important position. To some, this button ties Samuel Ball directly to the British Navy after the discovery of the Money Pit. One team member summed it up. The obvious explanation is he was trading with the British Navy. He kept his connections and was involved with them somehow. But then came the bigger question: what was he trading? Adding fuel to this speculation was the mysterious tunnel or box drain found beneath Samuel's homestead on Lot 25. It stretched toward the southeast shoreline. The team's investigation took an even stranger turn when a nearby structure revealed another clue. Years ago, Rick Legina recalled an experience he had while wandering Lot 26 with legendary treasure hunter Dan Blankenship. He remembered how they came across a well. It was the dead of winter, way below freezing, but there was no ice on it. This well, located on Lot 26, was once owned by Samuel Ball. It became a focal point for further investigation when the team observed that it never froze, no matter the temperature. The phenomenon prompted geoscientist Dr. Ian Spooner and archaeologist Laird Niven to collect water samples and organic materials from the well. The results were astounding. Dr. Spooner revealed, "We got samples from the well, and it was one of our only silver hits outside the Money Pit." This raised a tantalizing possibility of the tunnel under Samuel Ball's homestead being connected to this mysterious well. And then, just offshore from Samuel's home on Lot 25, another discovery deepened the mystery. In 2020, while investigating the waters surrounding Oak Island, the team uncovered something remarkable: remains of a massive stone wharf. Stretching 16 feet wide and over 100 feet long, this structure was far larger than what a humble cabbage farmer would need for offloading crops. Samuel Ball's resourcefulness is undeniable. He was smart, capable, and clearly had connections. Some speculate he could have built the wharf as part of a lucrative contract with the British Navy, supplying cabbage to prevent scurvy on their ships. Others wonder if it served a more secretive purpose, perhaps linked to smuggling or even safeguarding treasure. The possibility that Samuel Ball was more than just a farmer grows stronger with each discovery. Some believe he might have been entrusted by the British military to guard the treasure on Oak Island, ensuring it remained safe until the Crown could reclaim it. Naval buttons found on his property suggest he maintained ties with the military, and the scale of his operations, both on land and along the shoreline, point to activities beyond farming. Could Samuel Ball have been the keeper of a secret so valuable that the Crown rewarded him for his discretion? In 1842, after more than 60 years on Oak Island, Samuel Ball passed away at the age of 81, leaving behind a legacy of wealth, property, and unanswered questions. In 2017, the story of Samuel Ball took a personal turn when Rick and Marty Lagina met with Tony and Ivan Boyd, two of Samuel's direct descendants, in the war room. The Boyds shared family stories passed down through generations. "Our mother always said, 'This is our people's land.' That stayed with me my whole life," Ivan said. For them, Samuel Ball's success was nothing short of extraordinary. To amass the properties and wealth that he did, especially coming out of slavery, is phenomenal, they said. He had street smarts and intelligence. But the lingering mysteries remain. Did Samuel Ball find treasure on Oak Island? Ivan Boyd believes he found something, but not everything. "The big cache of treasure is still out there," he said. "I hope the Lagina brothers find it. But for me, it's about the truth. I just want to know what's there." The search continues. Rick and Marty Lagina and their team remain focused on Samuel Ball's former properties, uncovering pieces of jewelry, silver, and other artifacts that hint at wealth. While these discoveries don't definitively prove Samuel found treasure, they suggest he may have uncovered something remarkable. One thing is certain: Samuel Ball's story is as much about resilience and triumph over adversity as it is about Oak Island's mysteries. From an enslaved teenager to one of Nova Scotia's wealthiest landowners, Samuel's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. But perhaps the true treasure of Oak Island isn't buried beneath the soil, it's Samuel himself. His life, his legacy, and the mysteries he left behind continue to captivate and inspire. Could Samuel Ball's legacy hold the final clue to unlocking Oak Island's greatest mystery? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more.